It sounds like the clock just chimed, so here we are, QST, QST, QST. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Before we start the net, let me take a short pause, just in case there's any traffic that needs to precede the net. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, standing by. Hearing none, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is Jerry, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control for this evening's session. I'd like to welcome everybody. I certainly hope everybody is doing well. I'd like to take check-ins first, and then any traffic for the net. Any comments? Please tell us how you're doing. How is life? Now that we're getting closer to the holidays, etc., the weather, anything you wish to contribute. So this is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. The net meets every 2 weeks on Thursday at this exact time on the frequency or on the service that you are connected to. It could be Echolink, it could be the local 9H1 UHF repeater, it could be the 9H1 DMR repeater, it could be you're listening on YouTube as well, where it's broadcast live, and also recording of the net is there after the net finishes. Wherever you're coming from, welcome to the net. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to everybody. This is a directed net, and all calls should go through net control. When you call in your call sign, please leave a pause of about 5 seconds to allow me to write, and also just in case any of the connected systems need to reset, they'll have time to reset. I'd like to thank everybody who makes this net possible. Anthony does a lot of background work, 9H5 Fox Alpha, the repeater trustees who allow us time on their machines to and carry the net for us, and everybody else who contributes in one way or another. I will take a short pause now and then take check-ins. Alrighty, let's take some check-ins for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Call sign, name, and leave a 5-second pause between one check-in and the other. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Check-ins, please.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. The name is Anthony. I'm checking in to the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
Zero Bravo India Alpha, name's Ian.
Nine Hotel 1 Tango Lima, name is Chris.
Nine Hotel 5 Lima Radio. Your name is Manuel. Hello.
Okay, very good. Let's see if I have everybody. I have myself. I checked in. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha, Golf 0 Bravo India Alpha, 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima, and 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio. Good evening to everybody. Any other check-ins at this point in time to the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? All righty, hearing none, let's go down the list. Let's see, good evening, everybody, and good afternoon from here. We are celebrating today Thanksgiving Day, and a lot of families meet and eat turkey and ham, and all the fixings that go with it. So I'm looking forward to that later on this afternoon. The weather today is pretty. The sun is shining, the sky is clear, there is snow on the ground, but it's melting, and the temperature at this point in time is about 0 degrees Celsius. So I'll stay inside. If I forget, somebody remind me to talk about, well, I can do it right now, I suppose. There is the CW contest this weekend, and the Marconi Amateur Radio Club is operating a station with the call sign 9 Hotel 6 Mike Mike, and there are also going to be the 2 hams that are coming especially to operate the station during the weekend. And I'm sure I'm relaying this on behalf of Steve, 9H1 Sugar Fox, but I'm sure there's more information on Facebook pages or websites. So, without further ado, good evening, Anthony, and I hope you're doing well. And I'll roll it over to you and tell us what you have to say. And if you have any more information, as you always do, please share it with us as well. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha with the 9H-HAM, the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Welcome. Well, today is the 43rd edition of this net. We've seen it through thick and thin, sometimes with very small numbers, sometimes with slightly larger numbers. But it's amazing. We've gone through 43 fortnights, basically, because we hold it every 2 weeks. So that is, 43, that's 86 weeks, plus a few, because there were some individual occasions where we actually skipped it. So I think that's great, actually. We kept up this circle of activity for so long. Okay, so, well, on the local scene, let's see. Well, weather-wise, we've had some fairly warm spells, which today, now in the last 2 days seem to be going rather chilly. We did have an earthquake, marking about 4.5 on the Richter scale 2 days ago. Moswain was felt in Gozo more than it was in Malta. I didn't feel it at all. I would have had no idea unless people had told me and I had read it seen it on the news. But apparently at some locations in Malta, furniture moved within the homes. I mean, because of the sort of the vibrations, furniture actually moved slightly within some homes. No one's hurt, no damages, so just a tremor, basically. Well, I don't have anything to add at the moment. I'll pass the mic back to Net Control. Might have something to add later on, I'm not sure yet, but so back to you, Jerry. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
Very good, Anthony. 9H5 FA with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet and 7APW. Yeah, I heard about that. There was also one in Turkey around the same time, I suppose, or maybe a bit later or earlier. I remember an earthquake on Malta in the 70s when I was still living there. My mind says 72, maybe. I did have my driver's license, so I must have been over 18. So it must be either 72 or 73, and we felt that, and everybody ran to the countryside or to the beach, and there were some aftershocks at that point in time too. Some buildings had some cracks in them that I remember, and yeah, Charlie said he didn't feel it, but some other people I've talked to said they could feel it. I guess it depends on where you are. So that's very interesting. Okay, very good. Ian, over to you. Golf Zero, Bravo India Alpha with the 9H-HAM Global Net. Good evening. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Golf Zero, Bravo India Alpha. Very good evening to everybody. I acknowledge the earthquake information. I've never experienced one myself. I've got three questions. It's a little concern for me that you perhaps might be able to answer. I've sent Steve an email anyway on the subject, but I haven't had a reply. As some of you will know, a friend of mine, 9H-1 Alpha Juliet, Joe, in touch with him an awful lot ever since his ex-YL passed away, and we talk on WhatsApp. At this moment in time, those of you that know WhatsApp, you can send a message and that, and if you get 2 ticks, you know that the recipient's phone is working. Joe's doesn't appear to be for the last week. Manuel, this is for you, sir. I know Joe has a friend in Gozo who visits him. Could it be you? And does anybody know the call sign of Albert? I think his surname's Portelli, works and lives in Attard, and I've lost his call sign. I'm not sure whether it's 9H-5 or what, but I had his information on my phone, and I could sort of give him a bell and say, I don't think Joe's answering the phone, and Joe lives on his own, as you probably all know. So it's a bit of an appeal to try and see if I can make contact somehow and see that he's okay. I know he's getting forgetful, and I know he has, shall we say, with respect, finger trouble with his phone these days. So it's a bit of an appeal for assistance, and I wouldn't like to lose contact with him, and I just hope he's okay. So back to net control, Jerry. Thanks for the time there. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Golf Zero, Bravo India Alpha. Over.
Very good, Ian. Let's see. Let's pause the net right now, and can we help Ian at this point in time? Anybody, go ahead. Nothing heard. I have a question for you, Ian. Which Joe are you talking about? Go ahead.
I'm talking about 9H-1 Alpha Juliet. Lives in Floriana, in Videla Flats, and his surname's Aquilina, and very nice man. Known him for a long time. Well, a good since about 2009, I would say. So that's who I'm talking about. I know he has a friend who visits him called Manuel, and I was wondering if it was the same Manuel who was on the net. And it was Albert, his friend. I think it's a 9H-5, and his son and him are just starting to take the CW, but somehow these numbers disappeared off my smartphone. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, G0BIA.
Okay, very good. Anybody can help Ian at this point in time? Go ahead.
November 7 Alpha Whiskey, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. I do have Joe's email address, at least that email which appears on QRZ. I'm not sure if Mike sent him an email. I do not know Joe personally. I might have spoken to him sometime on the radio. I'm not sure about that, but I don't have any other contacts of him. But I can give you his email address. It's actually very short. It's Alpha Quebec Uniform Juliet Oscar Echo. I'll repeat that. It's Alpha Quebec Uniform Juliet Oscar Echo at gmail.com. There aren't any other contacts on his QRZ page besides that one. Perhaps someone on the 9H-HAM Facebook page might be able to contact him. I can put a notice up there and see when one will say put him in contact with Ian and 7APW 9H5FA.
Very good. Thank you for that. That would be helpful. Bill, over to you. Go ahead. Call you Billy, and I'm sorry again. G0BIA and 7APW.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Okay, Fred. Oh, sorry, you don't live in Flintstone country, do you? Never mind, that's Wilmer, I'll put you right. Thank you very much, Anthony. That was well intended. Unfortunately, I wrote Joe's QRZ page. I updated it about 4 years ago when I tried to, through contact using computers, me going on his computer from this end to get it right. But Joe, bless his heart, he's just lost the way to use a laptop, so that knocks emails straight on the head. Even on the phone, even on his phone, he's not got it on his phone. So, and it looks like it's not the right manual that I was thinking. Never mind, somebody probably knows Albert, known to the club, and he's taken his CW, and I think he's 905. I don't know if it's AP for Albert Portelli or something, but never mind. Perhaps Steve will come back to me with the email that I sent him earlier on in the week. Thank you for trying, Jerry. Much appreciated. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, G0BIA.
Okay, very good, Ian. Now you can call me Jerry again. Golf 0 Bravo India Alpha, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. I guess we can get the address off the QRZ.com and maybe somebody look him in the index of a phone book and maybe get a phone number and give him a jingle and see if he answers. That might be another avenue too. So I'll talk to Charlie also, my brother, 9H1FBS, and see if we can help you as well. And if that's the case, if your email is good on QRZ, Charlie or I and will either send you an email or talk to you on 9H1UHF. Very good. Anybody else with any ideas before we continue with the net? And thank you to everybody. And 7APW.
Quickie, Jerry, Ian, G0BIA. Your brother has his landline phone number, I do know, because he and I, your brother and I got Joe on to Echolink one night, and it was working, but that's about 3 years ago. So he does have his number, over.
with us, Chris, 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Over to you.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, this is 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jerry, and everyone else in the States. 43rd edition of this net. Wow, I'd like to thank everyone who has committed their time to running this net on a regular schedule. For me, it's easy. I just check in once every 2 weeks. But I'm sure there's a lot of work involved and a lot of headache. I did not feel the recent earthquake because I was sleeping. So don't have much to say about that. It is indeed getting a bit cold, so we are slowly changing our wardrobe to winter clothing. And I brought all the rabbits and turtles that were previously in the garden. I brought them inside, at least at night, since the cold doesn't do them any good. I have a question. Where is the best place to sit your radio in the car for mobile use? I'm about to bite the bullet and fix a bracket on the right side. That's the driver's side between the wheel and the door. But I'm afraid being so conspicuous near the window might attract the wrong kind of attention. Also, I'm a bit concerned about damage from the sun since it will be sitting in the car, especially in the summer. I'm going to start with one of my old Baofengs, the one I wouldn't miss, because it already has some other damages. And if I find a system that works for me, then I'll upgrade. So that's my question up for everyone out there. Where's the best place to sit your radio in the car? Back to Net Control, November 7 ABW from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
Well, here's my question for you: Is it a handy talkie or a rig? Chris, go ahead.
A handheld, and I think it will be remaining a handheld for the time being. Back to you, Net Control, November 7 ABW from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
Yeah, very good. In the past, I can tell you what I've done. I've used a cup holder to put the handheld in the cup holder, had an external mic, and also had an external antenna or an antenna on the roof of the car that connected to the handheld. And whenever I was using it, it basically sat in the cup holder, but then you have an external antenna, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it is in the car. And it used to be on the passenger side, just left of their left leg, so towards the center console, which protected it most of the time from the sun and dropping and everything else. And because it had an external antenna and an external mic, it was very convenient for me, because normally I just talked on one repeater and that was it. And then when I wanted to use it somewhere else, I'd just disconnect the antenna and keep the external mic and put an antenna on the handheld, and off you go. And I also got a 12-volt power supply or power source to it, and the battery never dies. So that's my 2 cents. And I'll open it up. How does everybody handle their handheld when they're mobile, apart from holding it in your hands, which, of course, I don't drive anymore, but when I did, that was too cumbersome. A microphone, not too bad, but a handheld, this is 9H, no, I'm not. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. How do you operate mobile with a handheld? Anybody?
Hotel 5 Lima Radio would like to explain some ideas. Ian, first of all, are you right-handed or left-handed? Go ahead, Ian.
5LR, this is 9H1TL. I'm actually right-handed, but it's not a problem. I could use the left, since obviously we drive on the right-hand side. my right hand will be focusing mostly on the wheel. So as much as possible, I want to not distract the attention while driving. That for me is very important. In fact, I will be fixing a push-to-talk switch on the steering wheel. So as much as possible, there are no distractions. So any advice, welcome, Manuel. Over back to you. 9H5LR from 9H1TL.
Sorry, Chris, I missed. I changed your name. Sorry, Chris. Okay, if you're saying this thing about the press to talk, there is at the moment a DMR radio, which is the Anytone, which have a Bluetooth PTT that you can fix to the steering wheel. So it's not dear, but it's not cheap. It's around 200 euros. So that's the Anytone. Anyway, what Jerry said, I agree. That you put the radio. Basically, I put it in the armrest of the door. I put it there with the rubber ducky. I don't even hook an antenna, external antenna, and I use an external PTT and mic speaker. And it's more manageable rather than having the whole set while driving. Okay, I pass it back to Jerry and say hello and good luck with your Thanksgiving. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio.
All right, before I take it again, and thank you, Manuel. Chris, go ahead. Feel free to exchange with Manuel. Everybody listens and everybody learns at the same time. And as far as the Anytone, well, I do have an Anytone, and I can also tell you that even if you have, and I'm not trying to sell anything here, don't take me wrong, it's just that I have one. The Anytone, even when you have an external speaker, if you use your Bluetooth push-to-talk, which comes with the radio, it will open up the mic. And so, at that point in time, you can clip the mic to the sun visor and use your push-to-talk via Bluetooth, and it works just nicely. These HTs, and I don't know why, but the push-to-talk button on these HTs has a strong spring to it, and many times I think I'd be pushing the push-to-talk, and all of a sudden I'm off air. So that's why I bought my external mic as well. All right, let me pass it over to you, Chris, and I hope we've helped you a little or given you some ideas, and if you need anything else, just put it out there. That's what the net is for. 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima with the 9H-HAM Global Net, November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha with a comment for Chris, 9H1TL.
For the advice, I'll be looking into these Bluetooth PTT. I have a very short, funny story of my learning process with going mobile. So I did find a PTT, but it's not wireless. It's on a wire, and I fixed it on the steering wheel, and I didn't give it much length. And well, you can imagine, I wasn't driving at the time, I was just testing it, but once I turned the wheel, I realized I fixed it too short. So thankfully I wasn't driving at the time. So I have to put a little more thought into this before actually biting the bullet and setting it up. So yeah. Alright, thank you everyone for the advice. I'll look into the Anytone. Christmas is indeed coming up. So there's that. Okay, back to Night Control, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
Okay, very good, Chris. If you catch me on the air, I'm on the repeater a bit more frequently than I used to be. And you have any questions about the Anytone, and you as well, Manuel, I'll be more than happy to answer that or help you as best as I can. And Anthony has a comment as well. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Go ahead.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. I've got a comment for Chris. Chris, 9H1 Tango Lima. Okay, so this is what I've been doing till now. So, yeah, as Jerry said, I use the cup holder as a holder for a handheld. I found online and I bought a hand mic with a fairly long cord and a fairly small mic speaker, which can actually clip to your clothes. So the speaker is actually clipped to the top of your shirt, for example, while you're driving. And if you want to talk, all you do is you lift one hand off the steering wheel and press the PTT on the speaker mic. And that seems to work pretty fine, as long as I hook up the hand-to-talk key with the external car antenna, because with the rubber duck inside the car, inside the Faraday cage, I'm very useful there. Unless you put it next to the window, obviously. Probably Manuel is successful with this because as he said, he actually put it next to the window. However, Christmas is coming, and I bought myself a present, which just arrived today. And this gizmo is it's a type of radio mount, which actually attaches to one of the bolts underneath either the driver or the passenger seat. So this is a gooseneck sort of mount, which is a very hard gooseneck. You need strength to bend it. You know, I've just been trying bending it now. Part of it, so you just loosen one of the screws which fixes your seat to the base of the car, and you slip it underneath there. There's a sort of U-shape adapter, and you tighten that bolt again. The other end of the gooseneck can take various types of mounts, depending on what radio you want to mount. There is also a mount available for handhelds, which can actually take a handheld as well as a speakerphone on the same mount, next to each other. There's only one company I'm aware of which makes these particular ones. Fortunately, they don't have outlets in Europe. I emailed them and they only sell to America. I actually got mine from America. They cost in the range, depending on which one you buy, they cost in the range of about $20. But when you add shipping to that, and that, whatever, I mean, it costs doubles basically. I got mine via, well, it arrived today. I ordered it about a week ago. It was a Christmas present, but it is a bit of it might be an overkill, you know. Actually, the nice thing about it is they can just change the head and later on fit a mobile unit rather than a handheld, or change the head and fit a different mobile unit while the actual mount remains there. Back to net control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
9H5FA, 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Thanks for the advice. I'm looking it up on Google. This looks like something that would interest me. It's amazing. Like you have an idea in your head of what you need, but since you can't put a name to it, you obviously won't find anything. And now that I Googled the gooseneck mount, now I found something that I need. Excellent. Thank you very much, Anthony. So, back to net control, I guess. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
Grabs the coverage and extends it quite a bit. And we all know as we drive where the weak spots are, and we get used to them. You know, I'm going down this valley and I'll catch you up on the other side, etc. But then you introduce a mag mount and then you go down the valley and you don't have to say that. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey Net Control Station for the 9H-HAM Global Net this evening. Any other comments or questions? N7APW.
9H-5FA with another short comment, please.
Oh yeah, and who makes it, Anthony? You know, I know there's a certain, I don't know what to call it on Malta about naming brands, but this is ham radio, and this is a hobby, and all this is about the hobby. We're not doing anybody any advertising or anything like that. At least that's how I feel. 9H-5FA, take it away, and 7APW.
Mounts which just fits into the cup holder. So it's a similar sort of structure, but it clips into the cup holder, which seemed to be interesting too. I opted for the seat bolt mount to leave my cup holder available to carry small change in, sometimes, or a bottle of water or something like that. Yeah. The other thing is that if you want to put your audio through your car radio Bluetooth system, for about €5 you can buy from Chinese websites, and I tried them and they work perfectly. A little Bluetooth transmitter, which is the size of a small USB drive, you know, it's extremely small, where you plug the audio of your audio output of your radio into this as a Bluetooth transmitter. It's powered by a 5-volt charger, very, very low current, so you can just plug it in, or if you have a USB port on your car, you can plug it into that just to power it, and it will transmit to a Bluetooth receiver, which could be your car receiver. And it works. It works. I've tried it. It's a cheap device. There are similar ones in Malta, but they cost about 5 or 6 times the price. These only cost about €5, including shipping, by the way, from China. 7APW, 9H-5FA.
Some ideas as well, 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio.
Okay, very good, Manuel. It's your turn anyway, so let me pass it over to you. But before I do that, hang on to those ideas. Don't lose them. Let me take any more check-ins for the net. 9H. I want to put myself on Malta. I wonder why, because it's cold over here. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey standing by for any check-ins.
0 BIA, can I check out? Jerry, 7-3, Saha, everybody. Layla Tayeb.
Okay, Sahabil, and you should shoot me. Sahai, and take care of yourself, and we'll hear you the next time. G0 BIA, I'll check you out. Any other check-ins?
This is KY4DZ, New Kent, Virginia.
Okay, very good. KY4DZ, I see you on the Echolink display. I'm going to assume that your name is Dennis. Welcome to the net, Dennis. Any other check-ins? None. Manuel, 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. I need to slow down a little. N7APW. Take it away.
Jerry, I think you had much to drink for the Thanksgiving. today. I remember some other ideas. There is another radio that you can buy, which is fairly cheap, and it is not a handheld, but it is like a very, very small car radio, which is called the QYT, Quebec Yankee Tango. I think it's 8900 Delta. And for that radio, you can buy, that's almost, it costs as much as the radio. You can buy an external PTT, which is Bluetooth connected. You don't have any wires, anything, and you can place this PTT with your sun visor, or else with the raised door window at the side, and that's another option. The other idea was to buy a headset, or else there is another set that hooks with your throat on the outside, and you speak Vox, Victor Oscar X-ray. But then you have to be very careful if someone crosses you and you shout some lousy words. Back to net control, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. This is 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio.
Yeah, very good, Manuel, and that's happened to all of us too. And you know, the sad thing about it, Manuel, is I haven't started drinking yet. Well, 2 cups of coffee, and that's plenty to wire me up. So there are quite a few ideas, and you know, I've seen people, and I've done it myself. The Bluetooth push-to-talk that you were referring to also has a Velcro strap, and you can strap it to the steering wheel, and you can just push the button. And I've done this before. I've hooked my external speaker to my sun visor and put an external antenna on my handy-talkie and used the Bluetooth push-to-talk, which automatically opens the microphone whenever you want it to, and it becomes pretty hands-free. You know, there are a lot of ways, but these are all nice ideas. Anything else, Chris, or anybody else before we move on to Dennis? This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Yes, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Just a small question for Anthony, 9H-5FA, please.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
(9H-5FA) from 9H-1TL. I'm looking up the Bluetooth transmitters that would connect from the audio output of the handheld to the Bluetooth in your car. The ones that I'm finding are all 3.5 millimeters. Is that correct? Because my Baofeng that takes 2.5 millimeter. I suppose I could get a 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter adapter, but I'm just wondering if yours is 3.5 millimeter, which is the standard audio cable for anything else. I only have 2.5 millimeter for the radio output. I've actually never seen an output like that before. So back to you, Anthony. 9H-5FA from 9H-1TL.
Uh, 9H-1TL with 9H-HAM GlobalNet, 9H-5FA. Yeah, you might need a 3.5 to 2.5 millimeter adapter, but you can get that locally from electronic stores. Yeah, but you need that because the radio you have has got a 2.5 and a 3.5 millimeter socket. One's the mic and one's the speaker. Actually, the plug is sort of a Kenwood type plug. But obviously, this here you just need the audio out line. So, yeah, what I didn't find was an audio, was the other way around. So what I'm suggesting was just to listen to the audio on your car Bluetooth set, but the other way around of speaking into a Bluetooth mic. Well, yeah, actually for the radio which you have, for the handheld which you mentioned, they exist, and you just mentioned you have one with a PTT which you can fix to the steering wheel. I think I know which one you're referring to because I've seen it online. Yeah, I'm not sure how the mic of those works. Is it fixed to the steering wheel as well, or do you have to sort of hang it to yourself somehow or other? Back to net control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
That's Chris.
Okay, 9H-5SA from 9H-1TL. This is going to have to be my final because I didn't charge my handheld before this net. No, it's a regular Kenwood type. There is a small speaker. The earpiece, the audio isn't very good, but I'm told from anyone who I've ever talked to with it that the microphone is actually good audio. So anyone else would want to use that's fine. It does clip to your clothes, your shirt, but I found a way to clip it to my car basically with cable ties. However, the distance between the earpiece and the push-to-talk would then be a bit too short. That's one of the problems. So I'd have to lengthen that or find another option. Okay, so back to net control, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima Chris, checking out.
Okay, very good. Great exchange. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Good afternoon to you, Dennis. Thanks for standing by so patiently. Kilo Yankee 4 Delta Zulu with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, and happy Thanksgiving.
This is KY4DZ. Good afternoon, evening, whatever applies to everybody. I started listening in at the beginning of the net, but the timing was just not very good, and I got called away to Thanksgiving dinner, so priorities took place there. Came back just a little bit ago and was monitoring your conversation about the radios in the car and the setups one another and the Bluetooth, which in my car, my old ears aren't as good as they used to be, and I'm looking for a system to use Bluetooth, maybe just a little inexpensive Bluetooth speaker to put somewhere closer to maybe my headrest, my visor, or something that I can hear it better without having to crank up the sound so loud it blasts my XYL out of the car while we're riding around. So I've been listening, and some interesting thoughts on that, and I did put one of the very small QYD, or I can't remember the name of the note plate, very small radio in my wife's car, so at least even though she's not a licensed ham, she can at least monitor it while she's riding around, and if emergency did crop up, that she would at least have that resource as last resource for calling for help. So that's about it. This is the KY4DZ. Back to next, N7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, over.
Okay, very good, Dennis. Well, I have a question for you. Does your radio in your car support Bluetooth? Go ahead.
It's KY4DZ. Roger, it does support Bluetooth for my phone, but I've got a Bluetooth dongle that I've tried using, and I couldn't figure out how to get it to pair with my car radio. So I've got a friend in our amateur radio club, Williamsburg area amateur radio club, that's a real mobile type guy, and I may have to confer with him to see if I can get that to work, or if he's got some other suggestion. If he doesn't know, there's nobody in the club that will know. Hi, KY4DZ back to net.
Okay, very good. Well, earlier on, Anthony, 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha, said he found some of these dongles on the internet, and they work. So if you have a pen and paper handy, I'll pass it over to Anthony to tell you what brand it is, and that way you'll have it just in case what you have doesn't work. And he also said, if I remember correctly, that they were fairly inexpensive. So before I pass it over back to you, Dennis, let me pass it over to Anthony and keep him working all day on the net. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha. I didn't catch what the brand of those Bluetooth dongles were, Anthony. 9H-5FA with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet and 7 APW.
And 7 APW, 9H-5FA with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Those Bluetooth transmitters I was referring to, they're actually cheap, unbranded China electronics. I was referring to AliExpress. If you just Google, or not Google rather, if you search the AliExpress website for Bluetooth transmitter, several different models will come up, all with strange brand names or unbranded names, the usual cheap Chinese electronics. But they work. I mean, they work, and I bought two, and they cost about €5 each, including shipping. Found something similar, branded, sort of, and perhaps a more robust nature available from local computer stores. But they're, instead of being €5, they're in the €30 range. I'm sure they work as well, but sort of I went for the cheaper option. You know, if it works, it works. So I don't have any. I mean, mine, the ones I have are unbranded. There's just no branded on them. I mean, they came in a little cardboard box labeled Bluetooth transmitter, and they've got a. You just plug them in. They've got a 3.5mm jack socket, so you have to plug them into a power supply, and they just need a 5-volt power supply, and you can use a normal portable charger for that, because they have a USB plug, so then you just plug it into that just to give them some power. And then you just need a short lead, which comes with them, to connect to the audio out of your radio, this little dongle. Obviously your car radio, your car Bluetooth receiver needs to be able to pair with things which are not mobile phones. Some of the earlier Bluetooth hands-free units in cars will only pair with mobile phones. If you can stream music to your car radio from a mobile phone, so we can, or from any other Bluetooth device, but stream music rather than just make calls, then it should work with these. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I don't know. And 7 APW, this is 9H-5FA.
Well, I'm assuming also, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the website AliExpress, the first three letters are Alpha Lima India. Is that correct?
Exactly, that's correct. It's Alpha Lima India, Echo X-Ray Papa Romeo Echo Sierra Sierra.com. It's a popular Chinese website. I'm seeing one of them in front of me now. I'm just Google for Bluetooth transmitter. It costs €3, 32 cents, and with free shipping to Malta. This is actually cheaper than the one I bought. Back to you, that control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for all that information, Anthony. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey Net Control Station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM Global Net. Dennis, do you have any questions or comments? Go ahead.
This is KY4DZ. No, that gave me another lead on it, and I will certainly follow up on it. I appreciate the input, and I hope everybody has had whether you celebrate Thanksgiving Day or not. Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and be safe out there, and look forward to chiming in on the net again sometime. Over.
And you are definitely always welcome. The net meets around this time. When you checked in previously, every 2 weeks on a Thursday evening European time or a Thursday afternoon U.S. time. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. Any more check-ins or comments for the net? Okay, hearing nothing, I'd like to remind everybody that the Marconi Amateur Radio Club is hosting the CW contest this weekend. There are some visitors who are also going to be operating the station. I'm assuming they're going to be at Mtarfa, at the club's headquarters, and it should be a lot of fun. Their call sign is going to be 9 Hotel 6 Mike Mike. 9 Hotel 6 Mike Mike. Let me give another pause for anything else for the net, and I'd like to thank everybody for participating. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
I have a comment for Dennis. This is 9 Hotel 5 Lima.
Excellent, Manuel. 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio. Take it away. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey with the net.
Okay, hello Dennis. This is Manuel from Malta. QTH is Assad, Alpha Tango Tango Alpha Romeo Delta. I wish to add with what Anthony suggested. On both your car radio and on the radio that you're trying to hook together, you should have details of your Bluetooth 4-figure or 5-figure code that you pair together. So if you go on your settings of the car radio and you enter the Bluetooth function or the Bluetooth area, you can do a search there, and if you switch on your radio and switch on the Bluetooth of the radio, it should start emitting transmissions of the Bluetooth, and that way the car radio should receive the signal and say, I'm going to say number or letter ABC 1, 2, 3 is on. Do you want to pair? So you pair with it, and sometimes the pairing number is 4 or 5 zeros, and sometimes they are different. But if you go in the settings of both systems, it should tell you. Hopefully I helped you a bit. Okay, I pass it to Jerry, and then maybe you answer me, Dennis. 9 November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey 9 Hotel 5 Lima Lima.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that, Manuel. There's some more information for you, Dennis. Go ahead, Dennis. I think Dennis might have left. Let me try again. KY4DZ with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet and 7APW. Alrighty, hearing nothing. Is there anything else for the net before we close the net? Or any other late check-ins? All right, hearing none, I'd like to thank everybody for checking into the net. We had a total of 6 check-ins this evening. I'd like to invite everybody to check in again to the net in 2 weeks, same time, same place, for another edition of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. In the meantime, I'd like to thank everybody who has made this net possible and invite everybody to join the net again and ham it up and get some questions going and some answers as well. And if somebody can help Ian Golf Zero Bravo India Alpha get in touch with Joe, it would be great because he's clearly concerned. All right, one more pause and I'll close the net. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
I have a weather warning, 9 Hotel 5 Lima Lima.
Go ahead, Manuel.
Okay, for all those who are listening, especially living in the island of Malta, in the weekend, it's going to be terrible, raining, and on Sunday afternoon, I lost the page now, there's going to be a grigalata. That means the wind will be north-northeast and 4-7. So if you have any antennas that are loose or something, just tie everything up. The time that the wind starts is going to be about around Sunday 10 a.m. onwards. 10 a.m. is 20 knots. 1 o'clock is 23 knots predicted. At 1600 hours, 30 knots. 1900 hours, the peak, 35 knots. And then it starts going down at 10 o'clock in the evening. And there also will be some rain and heavy showers on Sunday morning. That's all from me. Just be careful, and if you have any loose ends, just tie them up. 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio, passing the mic.
And 7APW, this is 9H5FA with a short comment.
I used to enjoy it, but you know, and here we get some winds as high as 65 miles an hour off the mountains at times, and we have to make sure that all the outdoor furniture, if we have any, and we don't have it in wintertime, but anything loose, it will fly, and we all know that. And but I used to go towards the sea and watch the rough seas, and now all I do is turn on the live webcams and maybe watch the Gozo ferry go across, and it's interesting. I've actually crossed once when there was a grigalata, and it was a bit more than interesting. Anything else for the net before we close the net? November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
N7APW, 9H-5FK, one short final comment.
Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Thanking everybody for your participation and information and the sharing of knowledge. And we'll do it again in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, 73s to everybody. Good evening, be safe, and keep smiling. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey closing the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.